All right, shalom, shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kahakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at GMS. Peace, honor, and respect to you, brothers that's out there laboring, edifying, rightly dividing the word, the truth, and sincerity. And shalom to you, believers out there, the Aki and Wa'agwa. And, you know, this lesson came to me, of course, through the spirit, the power, the grace of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You see the title. They don't know you're really a prince. They don't know you're really a prince, man. And this is a spiritual exhortation to you brothers out there, man, because they don't know about you, man. You know, the sincere men, the men that's believers, the men that's teachers, all right, leaders, all right. They don't know you're really a prince, man. And this happened with our King, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah, man. All right. They didn't know who he was. This happened with a lot of men. All right. Even think about Noah. Noah wasn't who he is today. Today, everybody know about Noah. Everybody know his rank. Everybody know that he really predicted the flood. But when he was, preaching for those 120 years and building the ark, they didn't know who he was. They thought he was a crazy dude. A lot of people. You see what I'm saying? And the same go for you. The same went for Yahweh Shah. All right. They didn't know. They don't know about you, man. Because you could even work at McDonald's. You could work at Taco Bell. You could work. You could be walking. You could be catching a bus, catching Ubers. You could be, according to this world, or these chicks, a bum ass nigga. And not really in a sense of you're homeless. You can have you a pad. You could probably have you a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom. You could probably have you a little car. It ain't nothing, it ain't like the Benz or the Lambo, but you got a car and you could work 2 jobs. That ain't really, in the eyes of people, significant. You could work again at McDonald's in another spot, or you can work at, Burger King in another spot or whatever. But guess what? They don't know you really a prince, man. All right. And it's a good thing to tell yourself that, man. It's a good thing to, exhort yourself and like, man, now, because people will try to play you. All right. Just like they played our Lord. All right. And the scripture just came to mind. Hold on. Let me find it. Let me just bear with me 1 second. Thwadi Habashim Yahushua. He feed me these scriptures right now. Because it's something the Lord, dang. Let me see. I'm gonna have to find it, but let me just get it moving. But I'm gonna cue it up, Lord will. But you see right here where Eddie Murphy, and this is why Coming to America, the first one, because the second one, it was what they would consider woke. Not a girl, she taking over the kingdom. They made Big Les his baby mama. They did all this new age shit. But the first one, all right, that was Trump type. You see what I'm saying? That's why this is one of my favorite movies on so many levels. You know what I'm saying? Because it showed our people being royal. Even, we was over there in what they call Zamunda, what really would be like African and all of that. But, and it's Israelites in Africa, but on so many levels. Like, see, right here, he was working. He worked a regular job. They didn't know who he was. All right, I'm going to get to the scriptures. But just exhorting you brothers, man. They don't know about you, man. They don't know you a prince, a literal prince of the power. Yasha Allah, man. All right. So they don't know that, though. These people, they just think you, Lil Jason or, Lil Will, They just looking at you like that. Oh, you talking about Lil Will that, He just, you know, a little Jason. You see what I'm saying? They don't know you're a real prince, man. Just like they didn't know Eddie Murphy character. He would Prince Hakeem. He was a real prince. He had his own money, face on the money, all that. And James Earl Jones, which was the king, he came in like, my son got a job. Like, picture that. We the princes of the power. We got a job, man. Like in the new world, we ain't gonna work. A job is gonna be like, what? We not gonna work, man. All right. We not gonna work in the kingdom, man. It's gonna be, you know, Prince Hakeem, he ain't even tie his own shoe. He ain't wipe his own butt. All right. I don't know if it's gonna go that far, but I'm just saying, you know, he didn't do nothing. All right. And he dropped himself down. All right. And think about it. Our Lord Yahweh Shah, he did that. That just came to me right now in the spirit. Yahweh Shah, you know, he's number 2. All right, the only begotten son, he had to come down here and deal with niggas and deal with. When I say niggas, I don't just mean our people. I mean just people in general. He had to deal with what he had to deal with, and he had the power to kill everybody, take down the Roman Empire, all of that. He had that power. All right, but he had a mission. Just like in this movie, Eddie Murphy had a mission. He had the power to just leave, and he didn't have to do that job. He could have just flew back to Zamunda and married old girl, which would have been smarter for his mission. But you know what I'm saying? Yahweh Shah had a mission. All right, his mission he accomplished. I want to get let me see how I want to start off, because man, it's so many points. But it's just exhortation for you brothers to hold on, man. All right, hold on. I know it get rocky. You know what I'm saying? It get real rocky. You know, we read, we study, we hear about what's promised to us, and we can't wait. And we see the prophecies. We see the prophecy, but then, you know, it's still bullshit in the background lagging in our real life. You know, just little bullshit. You know, again, this life will try to play you, especially as a so-called black man. All right, we at the bottom of the bottom. You know what I'm saying? And we got the tippity top promise to us. We real princes out here, for real. Like a lot of men is, well, I'm gonna just say, you know, certain men we listen to. Think about this. Certain men we listen to is of the 144,000, man. All right, we connected to somebody of the 144K. We have, I mean, somebody listening right now could be at the 144K. All right, we could be the elect. But then when you clock in, you got, you know, somebody, you know, telling you what to do. The fact that you actually got a job, you know, you might have to clean the bathroom at work, mop, do little stuff, you know. Hey, we got to hold on, man. It says in Psalms 83, right? It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Yeah, you see, you know, all our enemies, starting with Esau, Edom, they got they had a little smirks. They look at you like just a nigga. All right. The nigga woman, she hates your ass. She thinks she over you. All these rest of these other nations, these stinking ass East Indians, the Arabs, all these motherfuckers, they think they over you, dog. You know what I'm saying? They ain't nothing but slavs, bro. A lot of them people you come across could be your slave in the kingdom. All right. Wiping your floors, doing what you say, your supervisor, some damn weak ass Edomite, you know, probably give you a hard time. Well, guess what? That motherfucker probably be your slave in the kingdom. I'm just talking as a man. But that motherfucker gonna be somebody's slave in the kingdom, whether it be yours or another brother's. Or it could be one of your wives. You know, you got this Edomite chick at work. She might give you a hard time or just look at you like, nigga. You know, that could be one of your wives' slaves in the kingdom. You see what I'm saying? It says they have said, come. Wait, let me see. Hold on. Let me get what I really want. Let me see. Where we at? Oh, yeah, here we go. Verse 3, it says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and that's what they have done, and consulted against thy hidden ones, right? And the elites know who we are. That's why they give us a hard time. but the hidden ones. See, we the hidden ones. Just like that. When Eddie Murphy came like this, he was a hidden one. They didn't know who he was. They just thought he was an average dude filling out for a job, happy-go-lucky dude. You know, that's why they was looking at him like, man, you know, Lisa, the owner of McDowell's daughter, he started taking a liking to her, but she was just looking at him like at first, like, he just the average dude. She didn't even know he was a prince. Her boyfriend at the time, I forget his real name. I forget his name on there, but was looking at Eddie Murphy like a scrub. You know, some dudes, they might have these cars and make money, and they look at you like a scrub, not knowing you the prince of the power. You see what I'm saying? And it could be another Israelite man who in the kingdom, you know, but that nigga could be a 2/3, and you could be at a 144K, and that means you're gonna be over him in rank. You know what I'm saying? Over him in rank. He looking at you now in this world like you a scrub, not knowing in the new world you gonna be over him in rank. Now he is gonna be an Israelite man and have his thing, but he ain't gonna be on your level though. See, that's how things go. They don't know about you. See, it says hidden ones, and I looked it up. Right. And it says, see, hide treasure. See, a treasure get hidden. You see what I'm saying? A real treasure, you hide a treasure. You know what I'm saying? You gotta say you got this precious jewel, you know, from your grandfather. Your grandfather gave it to your father, and then your father gave it to you. You might lock it up in a safe for your kid. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because it's precious to you. You're not just gonna leave that jewel out on a dining room table for anybody to get. You're not just gonna leave it on the front porch. No, you're gonna put it up in a nice, safe place. See what I'm saying? It says hide from discovery, right? Because see, right now, it's a debate who the real Israelites is. That's why we the hit. They don't, you know what I'm saying? You got a whole bunch of people, even some of our people still don't know we Israelite. And a brother said in the lesson, like, even that in itself is a blessing. That's the Lord showing mercy because he stripped everything from us. You see what I'm saying? That was a part of the punishment. We was walking around here thinking we was just from Africa. We thought we was basically Hamites, for real, in a sense. No, see? And that was a part of that crafty council. But yeah, they don't know about you, man. See, he was a hidden one, even him. Now he wanted to get out of here. He was, you know, he was like, nah, like, what are we doing? You see what I'm saying? Like, no, man. As soon as he got over here, like, nah, like, bro, let's go back. But he wanted to stay. See what I'm saying? But they was hidden ones. They didn't know. Even he had rank. You know why he had rank? Because he was associated with the prince. See? Like being associated with Yahweh Shah. See? Even he had rank in the kingdom. Femi was just his boy. But by him being associated with the prince, he get all the perks of the prince. The women, the this, the that. You see what I'm saying? He was taken care of because why? He was his best friend. That's why he was able to eat at the table with the prince. Just like being at a 144K. You associated with Yahweh Shah, you're going to get them perks. All right. Just like on this earthly plane, you might, let's just say if you associated with, you know what I'm saying, Floyd Mayweather or, you know, LeBron James, a guy like that, you know. Well, when you're around him, you're going to get the perks. The women, you know, they might be more on him, but it's going to be some women that's going to scout you too. You're going to get women too, just because they're going to be like, who is that with Floyd? You know what I'm saying? You might, you know, you could be, let's say you Floyd Mayweather best friend. You think you're going to be working a regular job, even if Floyd just hook you up with a job somewhere, just saying, oh, this going to be your title, and you be able to make money or put you on different plays to make money. You think you're going to drive a hoopty? No. You might not have what he had, but you're going to be good. See? And that's how, you know, just to put that in layman's terms, that's why Simi was good because he was associated with the prince. So whenever things came down in the kingdom, Semi was gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? He was gonna be, if you listen, if you would have touched Semi, that would have been like touching the prince. Because that was his boy. And the king, if you would have touched Semi, the king would have came down on you with great wrath. Why is that? Because that's his homeboy. But they also love Semi too. See, that's how our kingdom works. So we fighting for these crowns. All right. They don't know about you, man. And that's not in a cocky way, bro. That's not in a cocky way. It's just saying, like, man, look, it is what it is. Let's go here. It says, Wisdom of Solomon 5. All right. It says, and they, verse 3, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of the spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometime in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools account his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of the Most High and his lot among the saints? And this is what a lot of these Edomites going to be saying about our people in general. But, you know, starting with the elect, man, you know, brothers teaching. All right. You know, these nations, they account us so-called black people, Latinos and natives is nothing. We're nothing. We, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them is going to be looking like, damn, these was the children, but starting with brothers teaching, you know. Matter of fact, let me get this in the GNT, because it say this. It says, then they will, this is the one we made fun of. We thought he was a joke. What fools we were. We thought he was crazy to live the way he did. And when he died, we didn't honor him. And now here he is, one of the Most High's own children with a place of his own. People that might laugh at you for, I don't know where it cut off at. Salaki. I seen it. It stopped. Oh man. All right. So let me just get it back. I don't know where it cut off at. All right. So let me get this. Wisdom of Solomon 5. I ain't never say Wisdom of Solomon 5, right? It says in verse 3, starting at verse 3 in the GNT, because like I was saying, I don't know where it cut off at. I'm gonna have to do this in the post editing. But I was saying, like, you know, they don't know about you, all right? It's people that might laugh at you for teaching. All right, these other nations, they look at our people as nothing. All right. Even our people might again look at you as nothing, right? But it says what? Then they will regret what they did, and groaning in anguish, they will say to each other, this is the one we made fun of. We thought he was a joke. What fools we were. We thought that he was crazy to live the way he did. And when he died, we didn't honor him. And now here he is, one of the Most High's own children with a place of his own among the Most High's people, right? Because see, again, like these Edomites and these other nations, they gonna find out that we really was the people of the, you know, we was the people. We were the true Israelites. Those small hats over there gonna find that out. We were the true Israelites. Everybody gonna find that out, who the real people are. They esteem us as nothing. Then even with the brothers, all right, people gonna find out like, dang, they was right. They starting to see it now, but as each day pass, they gonna understand like, man, these men were right. Okay, even our own people, our own family or friends or whoever, you might try to tell them, teach them or whatever, and they might laugh at you or they might just think you nobody. They gonna find that out. All right, all the way to the elites who persecute brothers. You know, it's gonna be martyrs. They gonna be like, man, what's the guy? and they're gonna have to eat that. See, they're gonna have to eat that. Let's go here to because again, matter of fact, let me get this first. Well, yeah, let me get this. This is Isaiah, right? Because Yahweh Shah had to go through this. So how much more us, right? It says, Isaiah 53, starting at verse 3, it says, he is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised and we esteemed him not. Yeah, when Yahweh Shah came, they esteemed him as nothing. All right. They esteemed him as nothing. All right. That's why he said, now let me get this. Hold on. Bear with me 1 second. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Oh, man. It ain't let me. I don't know. Bear with me 1 second. Let me Google this real quick. Yep, here we go. Here we go. Let me get this real fast. The Lord threw me this one. Let me see. Somewhere else too. Let me see more. All right. Yep, here we go. It says, man, I'm gonna start right here. Mark 6 and verse 1. And he went out from thence and came into his own country, and his disciples followed him. And when the Sabbath day was come, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many hearing him were astonished, saying, from whence had this man these sayings, and what wisdom is this which given unto him, that even such mighty works are wrought by his hand? See, he came to his own people. That's like when you come to your people. When you first came in the truth, you probably was trying to tell your mom, your dad, or whoever, your family, your friends, and they was looking at you like, man, that's little J. You know, that's little man. Little Dennis came to me earlier trying to preach. See, that's how they look at you. Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary, the brother of James and Joseph, and Judah, and of Judah, and Simon? Are not his sisters here with us? Are they offended at him? See, like, ain't that what's the name? That's how they look at you. Man, ain't that Cherie, little brother? You talking about little Tim? Man, ain't that him? Man, that's how they, but Yahweh Shah said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, but in his own country and among his own kin and among his own house, right? So when you first came to the truth, you probably tried to tell your people when they just weren't going to grasp it from you. It wasn't meant for them, number one. At that time, you never know. And number two, they don't look at you. See, they don't know about you. Again, you a hidden one. They don't know you're a real prince of the power. They gonna listen to TD Jakes. They gonna listen to Creflo Dollar. They gonna listen to them. Why? Because they on TV. And this is why, a lot of that got to do with that. Let's say you start busting down the scriptures to them the right way. You might have had a girlfriend at the time. You was trying to tell her certain things about the scriptures, or your people, period. And let's say you caught the bus to work every day, and you had a job that was just insignificant in their eyes. You wasn't a lawyer. You wasn't a doctor. Say you was, you just say you was a janitor. You know what I'm saying? Say you got a janitor job and a security job. So in the eyes of people, that ain't really, you know what I'm saying? It's a job is a job, but I'm just saying that ain't like being, a surgeon, a engineer or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So look, this is why, see, because when Saul got rejected of the Most High, the Lord told him to go, go to Jesse because he got the king. And even Samuel was looking at the men on the outwardly. So that lets you know, because David, he was short, he was comely, he wasn't regarded as a soldier. And that's how the Lord do. See, they didn't know about David. They didn't know about King David, that he was about to be a warrior and a king. He was really a king. That little short dude compared to this, that's the king, just like you. See, they don't know. They didn't know that in real life, this was him right here. They didn't know that. See, they ain't know that he was out here jewel shining furs. They didn't know. All they seen was this. See, they don't know about you. That's why 1 Samuel says, let me start 1 Samuel 16, and it says, in 6, it says, and it came to pass when they were come, that he looked on Eliab and said, surely the Lord's anointed him before him. Eliab probably was big, muscular, strong, had some height. In verse 7, it says, but the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. See, when they look at you, they don't know your heart. The Lord know your heart. They don't know, they look at you as insignificant, man, because you little Tim that got a security job and you got to catch the bus to work and catch Ubers. You ain't got a car yet. You see what I'm saying? Or you might have a car and your car ain't, you ain't got the drop top Benz, or you ain't even just got a nice looking Challenger or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Your car could just be a little hoopty. You could just have a little Toyota, and Toyota's good cars, but I'm just saying, like, you could just have something that ain't really in the eyes of the people that's, look like you ain't got the fly car. It gets you from A to B and it's working, but it ain't a chick puller. You see what I'm saying? And you could just have a regular job and they don't know that you really a prince. And see, that Yahweh Shah was the same. That's why it says right here in Matthew 10, it says, the disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. All right. Matter of fact, let me get this in the NLT. Quick exhortation for brothers, man. All right. We got to hold on, bro. Let me go down. It says in the NLT, Matthew 10 and 27, starting, it says, no, slightly. Let me go down. Where we at? That was verse what? 24. It says, students are not greater than their teacher, and slaves are not greater than their master. Students are to be like their teacher, and slaves are to be like their master. And since I, the master of the household, have been called the prince of demons, the members of my household will be called by even worse names. So you got to think, Yahweh Shah, he was esteemed as nothing. How much more are you? Yahweh Shah got higher rank than everybody, say the Most High, except the Most High. So you could be number one of the 144K, but you don't have higher rank than Yahweh Shah. Nobody do. Not King David, not the 12, not nobody don't got more rank than Yahweh Shah, except the Most High. So if Yahweh Shah had to be humbled down and be come in poor and be looked at as significant, that's why I got the Isaiah. They esteemed him as nothing. It says, yep, we esteemed him not. All right. So if Yahweh Shah was esteemed not, then how much more you? All right. And we got to remember that, man. We got to remember that. What's this I had over here? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, they don't know, man. But again, how much more us, Yahweh Shah, had to go through what he went through. And he number 2, the only begotten son. All power been given to him from the Most High. All right. He had the right hand of the Most High, man. He had to come down here and be a mere mortal, basically, and take what he took from somebody he could have just easily put to death. Easily, he got way more rank than, especially when you get to these Edomites. Yahweh Shah got way more rank than an Edomite. And he had to come and be subjected to them. Then subjected to niggas who he got more rank than. So how much more us, man? But they don't know about you, man. They don't know you're a prince, man. And you got to remember, right now, we like this. Even you got brothers that's doing well, but still, they still got their own thing they go through. Even if they got like a car that's a chick pleaser or a nice job that's kind of like, they might, different brothers got different careers and jobs and things going on, but they still this in this society because none of us can't make no laws. We not empowered. Even if, let's say, one of the brothers is a lawyer or something or whatever, and he got a nice car and a nice home, well, he's still subjected to the curses. If somebody's still looking down on him, it's still somebody that's trying to play him, because even like Jake be high up and you still got somebody that try to play him. Especially when it comes to the nigga woman or an Edomite. You can pull up in your nice car and they'll try to trump you. Like, try to let you know you just still a nigga. So we still like this no matter what position we in on earth. We still like this, all right? Because they don't know. But one day we're going to be like this. And when he returned home, what happened? He got back. He came back and he was back to his princely role. When he got back to Zamunda with Lisa, he was back. He was celebrated. He was held back to that high esteem, man. All right. No more work. No more mopping the bathroom floors. All right. And it was so funny. Remember when him and Lisa was going to the game? It was him, Lisa, and they was at the game with her boyfriend and stuff like that. And my man walked past and he seen him. And he was like, oh my God. And he started kissing his feet and saying, oh, and bowing to him. And everybody was looking like, why is this guy? Because he knew who he was. They didn't know. They didn't know he was really They didn't know he was really a prince, dog. They sitting up there with the prince of Zamunda, the future king. They didn't know though. But my man knew because he was from over there. See what I'm saying? Well, man, this was a little quick. Well, we about 30-something minutes in. This was an exhortation for you brothers, man. All right, you really a prince of the power, man. Keep your head up. All right, pray, read. We got to hold on, brothers. Till next time, shalom.